Once upon a time, in the very middle of the deep, dark wood, there lived 3 bears. There was Papa Bear. He was big and woolly and black. There was Mama Bear. She was medium and curly and brown. And there was Baby Bear. He was little and silky and blonde. They all lived together in a house of tree bark and branches, and they roamed all day in the woods. One morning, Papa Bear looked out of the window, and he said in his rough, gruff voice, "Looks like a fine, fine day." And Mama Bear said in her in-between voice, "That's nice for a change." And Baby Bear piped, "Just the kind of a day to go for a walk." And he ran to get his red hat and coat. Mama Bear thought for a moment. "Well," she said, "it just happens that I do need a few more acorns for my pie. So we'll take a basket and go for a walk in the woods. But first we must pour the porridge in the bowls. When we come back, it will be just cool enough to eat." Acorn pie. Papa Bear pulled down his vest and he licked his nose. He loved acorn pie better than anything else in the world. Acorn pie. I'll go with you, and I'll even carry the basket. Acorn pie. So the 3 bears set out for a walk in the woods. Papa Bear led the way. He carried a cane in his hand and the basket on his arm. Behind him came Mama Bear. She held a blue parasol over her head to keep her nose from being sunburned. And last of all came Baby Bear. He wore new striped trousers and his red hat and coat. Papa Bear took long steps. Mama Bear took medium steps. And Baby Bear just went skippity-yippity, bumpity-bumbleby, hippity-hoppity, wham-boppity, all over the place. Off they went down the woody path until they were out of sight. Just at this very moment, a little girl was walking in the woods, and because her hair was the color of buttercups and summer sunshine, she was called Goldilocks. She had gone into the woods to fill her apron with flowers, and it seemed the farther she went, the more beautiful the flowers became. Goldilocks came down the path, looking first to the left and then to the right. But when she saw the little house of tree bark and branches, she stopped short. "Why, what a cute little house," she thought. "It has a thatched roof and a green door. I think I'll just peep in." There was no one about to tell her not to, so she ran to the house and peeped around the door. There was no one inside. She knocked. No one answered, so she walked right in. She was standing in the cutest little room you ever saw. Over by the window was a table set for breakfast. There were 3 bowls, a red one, a blue one, and a yellow one. And they were steaming with delicious porridge. Goldilocks sniffed. Then she sniffed again. It smelled so good she went a little closer and gave a really big sniff. Oh, it smelled like the most delicious porridge in the whole world. and then she saw 3 chairs. The first one was a big, tall chair with a red cushion on the seat. She climbed into it and sat down. It was so high the tips of her toes didn't even touch the floor. Oh, this chair is much too high, so she jumped off. Next, she tried the middle-sized chair. This one had a blue silk cushion on the seat and a little ruffled frill all around the edge. Goldilocks sat down and leaned back. Oh, this chair is much too soft for me, and she jumped down. Then Goldilocks saw the smallest chair of all. It had a round yellow cushion tied to the back with tassels. It looked just right, but when she sat down, it broke into 100 pieces. Oh, cried Goldilocks, that chair was much too small. Then she ran over to the table. First, she dipped the spoon into the big red bowl. Oh, this porridge is too hot. Then she dipped the spoon into the middle-sized blue bowl. Oh, this porridge is too cold. Then Goldilocks tasted the porridge in the little yellow bowl. It wasn't too hot, and it wasn't too cold. It was just right. So she ate it all up. By this time, Goldilocks was very sleepy. Slowly she went up the stairs. There wasn't a sound in the house. Outside, a fat cricket and a green katydid sang to each other in the morning air. Goldilocks walked down the hallway and pushed open a door. Inside was a room with a great big bed. Goldilocks was so tired she thought she'd lie down and take a nap. But the bed was very high, and she had to jump to get on top, and she landed thump-bump. "Oh my," cried Goldilocks, "this bed is much too hard. I can't sleep in this one." So she jumped off and went on down the hall. The next room also had a bed in it. This was a middle-sized bed, with a soft blue cover and 2 white pillows tied with blue ribbons. At the foot of the bed was a blanket of soft, soft wool. Goldilocks thought she could snuggle under it and be fast asleep in no time at all. But when she climbed onto the bed, she sank down, down, down into the deep mattress. Oh, this bed is much too soft. If I sleep here, I might sink all the way down to the floor. So Goldilocks climbed to the edge and jumped off. At the end of the hall, there was another door. Inside was a room with a tiny little bed. It had a yellow check cover and a neat little pillow to cushion her head. It wasn't too high, and it wasn't too low. It wasn't too hard, and it wasn't too soft. It wasn't too long, and it wasn't too short. It was just right. So Goldilocks pulled the covers up to her chin and fell fast, fast asleep. Just about this time, the three bears came walking back through the woods. The basket Papa Bear carried on his arm was filled to the brim with acorns. Mama Bear was wearing a blue flower in the brim of her hat. And Baby Bear was running round and round in circles and jumping up and down. When they came to the house, they saw the front door was wide open. They ran inside and looked all around.
"Why, someone has been sitting on my chair,"
said Papa Bear in his rough voice. Yes, indeed, and someone has been sitting in my chair, cried Mama Bear in a middle-sized voice. And look, squeaked Baby Bear, someone has been sitting in my chair, and it's broken all to pieces. Then the three bears looked at the table.
"Someone has been eating my porridge,"
said Papa Bear in a rough, gruff voice. And someone has been eating my porridge, said Mama Bear in her middle-sized voice. And somebody has been eating my porridge and has eaten it all up. Then up the stairs they ran. First they opened the door to Papa Bear's room.
"Someone has been sleeping in my bed,"
he said in his rough voice. Then they ran down the hall to Mama Bear's room. And someone has been sleeping in my bed, she said in her middle-sized voice. Then they all ran down the hall to Baby Bear's room and carefully pushed open the door. Papa Bear stuck his nose around the corner. Mama Bear looked under his elbow. Baby Bear got down on his four little paws and peeped between their feet. Someone has been sleeping in my bed, and there she is now. Goldilocks heard their voices and woke up with a start. She saw the three bears standing there, looking right at her. She was so surprised she forgot to be frightened. She just sat and stared. Then Goldilocks remembered where she was, and that she shouldn't have been there at all. Quick as a wink, she jumped out of bed and ran down the stairs. Out the door she went, and she didn't stop to look back until she was safe at home. But the three bears laughed when they saw her go.
"Well," said Papa Bear, "that's quite an adventure for one day."
It was indeed, said Mama Bear, quite an adventure. It certainly was. And now I want my breakfast.